Hello, I'm your druid, and I'm just making a video because I haven't made one in a while for this channel, quite a long time actually. I was planning on making a review for the Justin Bieber movie, but I really don't want to go to see it until there's no one in the cinema, because frankly I think they might just arrest me on paedophilia charges or something. So I was half thinking of trying to find a way to watch it online, but there isn't one, and I don't think anyone cares enough to put one up, so I don't really mind. I'd rather see it in the whoa, unfocused. I'd rather see it in the cinema because I don't think the review's accurate, really, if I go and see it otherwise, and I want to see if the 3D's any good or not. I just realised I look a lot like General Zod right now with the hair shaved off. Neil. But yeah, I had to make some sort of vlog because this channel seems like it's dying, and I'd rather it didn't, because this is the channel I want to keep going at and keep making reviews for. And I was half considering making a review for Paul, but since I don't really have that much time at the minute, I'm also doing Let's Plays for Minecraft on another channel. But I'll just tell you what I thought of Paul. Paul's a movie that's written by Nick Frost and the ginger guy. It's Shaun of the Dead, guys, okay? If you haven't seen Shaun of the Dead, watch it. It's also the same guys who do Hot Fuzz, and if you haven't seen Hot Fuzz, watch it. Unfortunately, Edgar Wright's not directing, and he's brilliant. He was off directing Scott Pilgrim at the time. Yeah, the movie Paul is done with... It's them two and an alien, and it's an alien movie, but it's also kind of done as a road trip style movie. So it's a comedy kind of well, not even action. It's just kind of a silly comedy adventure. That's what those two guys normally do. And people are thinking, oh, it's them guys. They must be great. It's good. It's a good movie, but it's not a great movie. Their old films are a hell of a lot better. It kind of shows a bit without Edgar Wright there, but in saying that, it's worth a watch. It's not a must-see in the cinema either. It's not really the movie that requires it to be amazing. If you see it for rental or you see it in a bargain bin at a shop, definitely, there's no pressure to go see it in the cinema. It's a good movie. It's not a great movie. Some interesting things about it, though. There was a very, very, very clear anti-creationist theme going for it. I'm quite serious. A very anti-creationist now. I'd rather keep that out of most movies, unless it's explicitly about it as part of the movie. And from what I can tell from the interviews, apparently it was a big feature of the movie originally, but the execs, because this movie doesn't have a big director, there's a lot of fun put into this movie, and when there's a lot of fun put into a movie by a company, they want a bit of control over it, and apparently there's going to be a lot of talking scenes, kind of laying into creationism a bit, but going easier on it, kind of, but laying into it all the same. But because they had to cut a lot of this out to make the movie more viewable for mass audiences, because there's more money being invested in it, this kind of means that the anti-creationist bits that are left in it seem really, really out of place. It really doesn't. It kind of slows the movie up as well, and they could have cut it altogether. Well, maybe not altogether, but most of it. It doesn't really. It just doesn't fit. The movie's still good fun. If you're a creationist, don't go see it, because you're not going to enjoy it at all. Other movies I've seen recently, I've seen Splice. Splice is kind of like a horror. It's really, really crap. It's crap, but it's funny because it's kind of the opposite of Paul. There was barely any involvement in the movie apart from the director himself. He was kind of given a free rein, so there's some pretty sick stuff in there. There's some really dodgy rape scenes with monsters and stuff. I'll leave it at that. Don't want to give away too many spoilers, but yeah, Not one for the faint-hearted, but equally it's not all that great. Bargain bin material. You know, if you see it for £1 in the shop, £1 or $1, yeah. Other than that, no, it's really just not very good. A movie I didn't get to review last year, Paranormal Activity 2. As you all know, if you watched my earlier videos, you've seen I loved the first Paranormal Activity. But the second one, there's some of the individual scares were a lot better in the second one, but, and this is a big but, it didn't flow as well. Because they decided to kind of carve it around the first movie, so that the stories lined up very nicely, and I liked that, but that kind of meant that the pace was there's lost a bit of pace in it, and there's not as much of a slow build-up. The first one worked well because it was a slow build-up, and people who got into it. I know some people just didn't, that's fine, that's kind of a thing with horrors. Most horrors are kind of hit and miss. You either get into the situation or you don't. But the first one, if you got into it, had this very nice slow build-up, and then it's not a great payoff, but it's a payoff all the same, and it works. But with the second one, there's payoffs 5 minutes in that are scarier than the end payoff. It just doesn't flow well. It's not as good a movie, in my opinion. The actors aren't as good. The only really thing I loved about it was the dog. And if you've seen it, you'll know what I mean. The family have a dog in it, and the dog is brilliant. The dog is the best part of the movie. The dog acts better than any of the family. The dog's like barking at this area, there was nothing there. And it's freaky. It's freaky. It's much better than the family and the really stupid family. The daughter's alright. The dad and the mum are a pain. He kind of makes you miss Micah and what's her face. So, well, I just give you a few movies I've seen, so you know whether to see them or not. Paul, if you want to watch in the cinema, it's worth a watch. If you want to miss it and maybe rent it or get it cheap, sure. You know, there's no rush. Get it in 2 years' time when it costs nothing. Decent movie. Splice, only if it's in the bargain bin, only if it's dirt cheap. It's rubbish. I'm going to do my best to get that Justin Bieber movie review to you. I don't want to get arrested, okay? Don't want to be this only old guy in the cinema. I definitely need to get a shave before I went to the cinema for it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry for being so slow. I do a Minecraft Let's Play on ONM daily, and I'm thinking about moving some of the episodes over here slowly just to keep the channel more active. Anyway, your Druid over and